Welcome to Buffalo Campday Recap. I'm Thad Brown along with Carl Jones. Day 7 of Bills camp in the books. After a day off, this is the first of 5 straight days of practice. 4 will be here at St. John Fisher. Then on Friday, the stadium practice, the yearly opportunity for folks in Buffalo to come out and watch a camp practice. And Carl, the thing I want to start with today is the slot receiver competition. Week and a half ago, we were talking about this competition as a 4-headed race, to where Isaiah McKenzie and Tavon Austin and Khalil Shakir and Jamison Crowder all were, seemingly neck and neck, all had a chance to, win a part of the job. And I kind of thought, at the end of the day, we'd end up with, the role being shared. You have, one guy doing this, one guy doing that. But 7 days into practice, right now, this looks like Isaiah McKenzie's job to lose. Now, look, Tavon Austin, as much as he had a nice mini camp, he's been pigeonholed in the third team. He's really not even a factor right now. So at most, this is probably a 3-person race with Tavon trying to slide in maybe as a return man somewhere. Shakir, for as good as he was the first 2-3 days, he slowed down a little bit. Actually had a drop in the opening session when it was just offense versus defense, but going at 1/3 speed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't a big deal, but it was eye-opening to see him drop anything, especially in that situation. But regardless, he hasn't made anywhere near the plays. He does get some time in the first team, but to me, it's never in routes. He always seems to be run blocking. So now it's really down to Jamison Crowder and Isaiah McKenzie. Jamison Crowder's only played 1 practice. He was in practice a little bit more today, didn't participate in team drills, and what Isaiah McKenzie did today is what he's been doing this entire camp. Just keeps making plays. Not super spectacular, had a couple nice catch and runs, crossing patterns. I saw one where he had 2 steps on Taron Johnson. Taron Johnson's one of the best nickels in the league. So McKenzie is getting it done, and Carl, I think right now this slot job, full-time, is McKenzie's to lose.
They say your best ability is your availability, and right now that's hurting Crowder 100%. Talking about that route in 2 minutes, everyone on the field knows that a passing play is coming. Yeah, Isaiah McKenzie routed up Taron Johnson a little bit. That looked like a 20, 25-yard gain right there.
Something like that.
And he's an explosive player, and I think what he brings to the table is so much different than what the other 3 guys have. Tavon Austin may be comparable when it comes to his athleticism, but obviously his route running ability doesn't really match up to what Isaiah McKenzie brings to the table. And Crowder kind of fits some of the mold of the guys that the Bills had last year with Cole Beasley, underneath, quick, shifty, option route type of guy. McKenzie looks like he can bring a little bit more of pop to that position, a little bit more explosiveness. And based off what we saw so far, we haven't really seen him take anybody deep, but you see that suddenness. You see that quick, sudden twitch that he's bringing to the field, and it's showing out so far, especially with the highlight catch he made on Saturday and then making the plays he made in 2 minutes today. I mean, he's stacking up a bunch of days, and one of these days, I feel like he's going to have one of those days where he just pops. And so far, stacking up his days and doing a good job so far.
Yeah, I think McKenzie's a little different slot, especially than Cole Beasley. Beasley was more of a, almost right at the line of scrimmage. I'm going to get open horizontally. I'm going to, juke and find some space. McKenzie's a little more of a straight speed guy, and I think he can get down the field more into the intermediate route tree, be very effective there. I think he can be really good underneath as well, and certainly on bubble screens and things like that. And Sean McDermott today talked about Isaiah McKenzie and his growth so far, and if he does end up as the full-time slot, how things are going to be different for McKenzie than what they've been so far in his career.
The biggest adjustment is going to be, the potential of stepping into a full-time role now, right, where there's teams game plan for you, you have more film on out there, and so it's an adjustment, and there's a toughness piece that comes with that, where there's more of a chance for good plays, yes, but there's more of a chance for some plays you want back as well, for bad plays. And you have to know then through the course of the game, adjusting to that is a little bit different as a full-time player, game to game, or even within the game, than a part-time player.
As for the rest of practice on Monday, the guy that stood out to me again was rookie Kaiir Elam. The corner had a really nice pass breakup in the back of the end zone, ripping a ball away from Dawson Knox. And yeah, if you want to, continue to pile on Dawson Knox and some of the drop issues he's had this camp, I think you can argue that one will go into it. That was more of a battle, a 50-50 ball, than it was a straight drop. But regardless, Elam was right there, and he won the battle, not just against the receiver, against the tight end, a pretty decent tight end. There was another play in this practice where Tremaine Edmonds had an interception. The ball never got to Elam and Stephon Diggs, but Elam was right there too. So, look, not every play in and out is good, but Elam continues to flash, continues to look like he certainly belongs at this level at worst, and maybe be able to thrive in a relatively quick amount of time. Edmonds, like we said, had an interception. He hasn't been, he's never flashy almost everywhere, but he had a play first couple days of camp where he had a nice pass breakup, had an interception today. This was one where he was kind of in the right spot, read the quarterback's eyes and was able to make the pick. So give Edmonds credit for that. He hasn't been, totally quiet this camp. And I think the other thing I want to mention is what happened on offense today. Josh Allen, he had good moments for sure. A couple passes in a move the ball down the field drive where he hit Dawson Knox over the middle, down inside the 5, and then came right back with a quick touchdown to Stephon Diggs. But the offensive line remains a mess. Deion Dawkins was back today. Mitch Morse played, but Tommy Doyle in the middle of practice got injured. So at one point the Bills had Bobby Hart, Greg Van Roten, and David Questenberry as 3/5 of your line. And, God help poor Josh Allen if that's what's going to happen this year. And it looked that way at times today. Carl's going to talk about Ed Oliver today. Ed Oliver, this should be, if he ever needs a resume to go anywhere else, this one practice is probably all he'll need for it. So the offense struggled because the offensive line was a mess. But Josh Allen had 2 interceptions in this practice where he was not anywhere close to the same page with his intended receiver, Stephon Diggs. And if there's one guy in this offense that you figure Josh Allen should be in lockstep with, it's Diggs. So a little concerning there. Again, there's so much else swirling offensively, and it's August 1st, so you can excuse a lot of it. But, not a great day for the offense and, kind of a what's going on here day from Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Carl, Ed Oliver, he was just a menace. Again, you're going to go against Greg Van Roten and Bobby Hart. You're probably going to win, but boy, did he win.
We're going to talk about someone who had a great day. Man, Ed O did his thing. And I know he's going against second and third team guys, but you still want to dominate those guys no matter who's in front of you. You're doing what you're supposed to do. So I understand, the level of competition won't be what he sees on Sundays. I get that. But he's still doing his job in his 111th. At one point in practice, he kind of ruined it, and they took the first team off the field. It was a 2-minute drill.
First team defense, right?
Yeah, they took the entire first team defensive line to say, you know what, you guys are ruining it. And it was by and large part because Ed O had at least 2, maybe even 3 sacks on that drive alone. Sean McDermott said, we're not getting work done in this period. I'm trying to get receivers to time things up down the field, and you're back here in half of a second. So, get off the field and let these second teamers come in. Just if you had any idea or if you wanted to wonder about what is Ed O going to do this year with Vaughn up next to him, Greg Rousseau, his second year, man, we're sleeping on Ed O because he's doing his thing so far. And we talked to him after practice, and Von Miller, is the darling of the offseason. The Bills finally got that splash, pass rusher that they can get. And we've been marveling at how great he looks, but Ed Oliver didn't see him that way, and he saw him in a much different light.
I know Von Miller is Von Miller, but at the same time, Von Miller kind of he didn't involved into my brother. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at Von as how the media might portray Von as 2-time Super Bowl runner. I look at Von as the goofy Von that I go in the locker room and chill with him, hang out with every day. So it's kind of at first it was kind of damn, we got Von in here, but now he more so like my brother than Von Miller. It's that Von.
Injury-wise, for the rest of the Bills in this practice, like we said, Tommy Doyle got hurt. Looked like a rib injury. He did walk off under his own power. That was midway through practice. He did not return. No Ryan Bates again today. Roger Saffold's still out. Jamison Crowder, again, was on the field for individual drills, but I don't see him take one team rep today. No, it was not in team at all. Same thing for Micah Hyde, who actually, I think it's an encouraging recovery for him for a guy who was carted out of practice on Friday. He did all the individual stuff, none of the team stuff, but again, looked fine. He should be okay, no concern there. Tim Settle did sit out practice today. I actually sat down with Tim Settle, and that'll be something you can see on News 8 later on this week, but he seems fine, no concerns there as well. By the way, Deion Dawkins today had maybe the play of this training camp. It was looked like some sort of a jet screen or a tunnel screen. So he's downfield blocking, and a defender got his hand on a ball, tipped up in the air, and Deion caught it basically in stride and then scored a touchdown. And I'll tell you what, it was about a 40-yard play, maybe 60. It might have been a little longer. He's not scoring in a regular game, but legitimately the way he caught it in stride, he's getting a first down. He made a play there.
Oh, Big Boy was definitely moving down the field. It was looking good, too. Nice little stride. And
flipped in the end zone?
And flipped in the end zone. I got kind of scared a little bit because it looked a little unorthodox. Yeah. Definitely didn't practice that. But, shout out to him for making it look good. And what sucked, though, the very next play, he had to play left tackle. So I know he was exhausted. I know he was tired, especially if he had to go against Vaughn. And earlier this week, we caught up with Mike Garafolo from the NFL Network. Great conversation. And, yes, he had a conversation about TBT, turkey burger time, and had a little mix-up on how many burgers he was supposed to eat.
Joined by Mike Garafolo from NFL Network. And Mike, coming up to see the Bills, I know you've done this for a lot of years.
Yeah.
This team has transitioned from a, hey, happy story to this is one of the power teams in the NFL. When you get to follow that story year after year, how much fun is it to come to this year and to see the mature version of this franchise?
It was great. I mean, today was back together Saturday, and we had everybody, we had all teams covered, all 32. And I said to Mike Robb, who I didn't have to remind, Mr. Buffalo, I said, look, we're here with the Super Bowl favorites. I mean, you can't ask for a better assignment than that. So I felt the pressure of that, right? Just actually covering this team here. Mm-hmm. So how does that team feel the pressure of being the Super Bowl favorites, and then how they operate with it? And you just look no further than the quarterback, who's about as chill as they come, just dripping with swag and confidence. I was here for rookie camp after he got drafted, mm-hmm. and he walked in. You could tell he had a little something about him. Mm-hmm. But now seeing him, 4 years, 5 years later, whatever it is, he's on a whole other level. And if he's not the MVP of the season, as Mike Robb predicted, I'll be surprised. I mean, he's coming out ready to play this year, and this team is too.
The thinking is that, especially around here, that Von Miller is the piece that puts this team over the top. Obviously, it can happen. How likely do you think it is that Von Miller does become that piece, and we're talking about a Lombardi in February?
If that's, first of all, it's that piece of, we need a pass rusher to get to these quarterbacks that we're going to be facing. That's one thing. But you're also getting what's the effect on A.J. Epinesa, what's the effect on Greg Rousseau and all these other guys, because that's the trickle-down effect. And even guys not even playing that position, guys that are watching him, because from what I'm told, they're going to have to back him down. He wants every rep. Mm-hmm. We asked him that when he sat down with us for NFL Network. I said, at this point in your career, I would think you'd be like, I don't need the. I said, you're in it. He goes, no, this is where you sharpen the blade, and you don't have to knock the rust off of week one. So guys watching that, if it's good enough for him to get in there and do reps at full speed every single day, it's good enough for me. So that's the effect of Von Miller if it's going to be an over-the-top type deal.
Real quick, I saw you got to see the sample of the Fisher turkey burgers. Give me your assessment.
Spot on. Josh Allen, listen, I would follow him onto the field. I would follow him into the cafeteria as well. It was a great call. He adds the jalapenos, the pickled jalapenos, which adds a little bit of sweetness as well as some snap and some heat. It was a phenomenal call. We did it as shtick during the interview. We're like, let's take a bite. And then Mike Robb, who's a vegan, put his down because it wasn't real. It was Furky burger. Right. And Josh had to go, so he bit his and put it down. I finished it. That was my lunch, right? That's what I ate.
Did you finish just yours, or you finished all of them? Okay,
so there was a minute where I looked at Josh's, and there was one bite taken out of it. And I asked my producer that she had a knife so we can cut the part that he bit off of. And Mike Robb's like, I know a lot of people around here that would love to dig in right where he dug in. I said, well, that's not me necessarily. But I'm thinking about it because I'm not going to be back here this summer. So I thought about it. I also thought about selling it on eBay, by the way.
EBay's a good idea.
Yeah. So in the end, I didn't eat that, and now I'm regretting it. I want some more. Where's the cafeteria? That way?
It's over there. Yeah, there's plenty more in there. Yeah.
Will they let us in?
I think we're all done for now. But I can send you one if you really want them that bad. We'll put it in the mail.
Well, we're going to have to do back together Sunday, so I can come back tomorrow and get a turkey burger.
Mike Garafolo, practicing good hygiene, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
You got it, guys.
So that turkey burger that Josh Allen didn't finish, that's definitely going for at least 10 G's, at least 10,000. And I've seen some crazy things on eBay before. That's definitely going for 10 bands. I don't know. I might see if it's still over there. I know it's been a couple of days, but I might go try to pick it up. But I'm a big turkey burger fan myself, and I still haven't gotten one yet. We need to fix that. We need to fix that ASAP. I need to go over there. Y'all got to fix that for me, man. I need one.
I don't know how we do that, but we'll figure it out.
We got to figure that out.
We'll hook you up. One other player I want to talk about quick here. Christian Benford, the rookie draft pick, 6th round. I'm pretty sure one of the 3 6th-round picks the Bills had. At one point today, hit interception. It wasn't a super play. It was just right place, right time kind of thing against the third-team quarterback. And I tweeted that he's got a practice squad written all over him because I haven't seen him do anything through 1 week of camp. And then lo and behold, he ended up on the first-team D in some goal line stuff. He was going head-to-head with Gabe Davis 2 or 3 times. Carl, you watched that matchup. How do you do?
Thought he held his own. I mean, I'm not expecting him to lock him down by any stretch of the imagination, but you're in front of a guy who's going to be starting on Sundays, and you hold your own and not give up a play. That's impressive.
I think right now still Nick McLeod would be the unknown who would be the most likely guy to get a roster spot. But Benford, at least today, had one pretty good day of practice. All right, that's going to wrap it up for us here at St. John Fisher University. As always, thanks for watching and listening. Remember, you can always find Buffalo Camp Day Recap every day that there is Bills Camp at rochesterfirst.com, or you can listen on Spotify in podcast form. Tomorrow the Bills are back here again. It's day 2 of 5 in a row, 4 in a row at Fisher. Then they'll have the one practice at the stadium on Friday. It'll be A.J. Feldman in tomorrow here in this spot. So until then, for Carl Jones, I'm Thad Brown. Thanks for watching and listening to Buffalo Camp Day Recap.